America is shaking again, and this time the ground isn't trembling because of an earthquake, a storm, or a natural disaster. No, this time the shockwave is political. It is loud, it is fierce, and it is aimed directly at the heart of America's immigration system. This is the story of a nation pushed to its limits, a president who says enough is enough, and a country that now stands at the edge of its most controversial immigration fight in years. This all began with an incident that America is still struggling to process: the shooting of National Guard members in Washington, D.C., allegedly by an Afghan national. An incident that sent shock, anger, and pure fire through the veins of millions of Americans who have watched crime rise, border security collapse, and immigration controversies explode one after another like ticking time bombs. And this time, the flame was too big to ignore. The frustration was too high. The temperature was boiling over. And President Donald Trump, known for making decisions that divide some but electrify millions, did not wait, did not hesitate, did not second guess. He hit America with a policy announcement so massive, so explosive, that the entire world is still scrambling to understand what comes next. He said he is prepared to permanently pause migration from what he calls third world countries. Not temporarily, not conditionally, not under review, permanently. A move so bold and so aggressive that it has already sent shockwaves across Congress, the international community, activist groups, and even America's closest allies. And yet, this is exactly the kind of move Trump supporters have been demanding for years: raw, uncompromising, unapologetic protection of American borders. A declaration that enough is enough. That national security is not up for debate. That America is not a charity. That immigration is a privilege, not a right. This script dives into every layer of this explosive moment. The fury behind it, the anger that fueled it, the political consequences that will follow, the voices of the people demanding stronger borders, and the people screaming that this is too extreme. And above all, the reality that America has reached a breaking point, one that cannot be ignored anymore. Because this is not just a policy announcement. This is a turning point. This is a moment of confrontation between two visions of America. One that wants open arms and open borders, and another that wants walls, strength, and uncompromising protection of American citizens. And this moment, this announcement, is forcing the entire nation to choose which side it stands on. Trump stepped up to the microphone with fire in his eyes. Not a calm political speech, not a carefully polished statement, but a statement that punched through the silence like a hammer smashing concrete. He said the immigration system is broken. He said the country has been exploited long enough. He said criminals are walking into the country and hurting innocent Americans. And he said he will not allow even one more preventable attack to happen on American soil. And whether people love him or hate him, the truth is undeniable. This announcement has changed the political battlefield overnight. The phrase "third world countries" immediately lit up every newspaper, talk show, political panel, activist group, and international leader. Some called it racist. Some called it harsh. Some called it reckless. But supporters call it reality. They call it common sense. They call it overdue. And the political fight that is now exploding across America is unlike anything the country has seen since Trump first announced the travel bans during his first presidency. Every major news outlet jumped on the story, but they all miss one thing: the raw anger that is built up in the American public. People are not just frustrated, they are furious. They are tired of crime, tired of open border promises. Tired of being told to stay quiet when their neighborhoods are changing, when their safety feels threatened, when policies made in Washington, D.C. impact their communities, not the politicians making the decisions. And Trump, whether intentionally or by instinct, tapped into that anger like striking a match to gasoline. But let's go deeper, because this story is not just about one announcement. It is about years of political battles, years of rising tension, years of headlines that have pushed Americans to the edge. It is about the immigration debate that never stopped, never cooled down, and never found a solution. And the shooting of National Guard members became the final spark in a national powder keg. People are asking, how did this happen? How did an individual who came into America after fleeing conflict end up involved in an attack on the very soldiers tasked with protecting the country? How did the vetting system fail? How many more cases like this exist? How many warnings have been ignored? And most importantly, how many Americans have to suffer before someone in power says enough? For years, activists insisted that most migrants are peaceful. For years, politicians downplayed threats. For years, people were told that questioning immigration policies made them insensitive, hateful, or ignorant. But now the conversation has exploded wide open. Crime involving foreign nationals, whether rare or not, is no longer a statistic. It's a political weapon, and Trump is using it with full force. His announcement is not just a reaction, it is a message. A message to every agency, every country, every politician, every activist, every global organization. The United States will now operate on its own terms, not the world's expectations. America will decide who comes in, when they come in, and whether they come in at all. And here's where the story becomes even more intense. Because Trump did not just announce a freeze. He called for a permanent pause, a full stop, a total shutdown of migration from nations he believes pose any threat to American security. And if implemented fully, this policy could affect millions of people, students, workers, families, refugees, asylum seekers. It would reshape the demographics, the labor market, and the political conversation for decades. Critics are already calling it unconstitutional, discriminatory, impossible, and dangerous. They argue it will isolate America, ruin diplomatic ties, and damage the country's image worldwide. But supporters, fired up and louder than ever, say this is exactly why Trump was elected. They say America cannot fix the world's problems. They say taking in millions of migrants is unsustainable. They say that border security must be absolute or it means nothing. This fierce battle is just beginning. The White House is already being pressured to release detailed guidelines. Activists are planning protests. Legal experts are predicting lawsuits that could reach the Supreme Court. Immigrant communities are scared, unsure what will happen next. Meanwhile, national security officials are fully backing Trump's move, saying the threats are real and growing. But let's go back to the moment itself. Imagine standing in the room when Trump said those words. The air thick, reporters tense, cameras flashing, advisors whispering, and Trump, steady and unshaken, declaring a policy that will define his presidency. A policy that will push America into a new era of immigration control, one that breaks with decades of global expectations. This wasn't just a policy statement. It was a warning, a declaration of war on what Trump calls dangerous migration pipelines. And he didn't stop there. He said he will hold every country accountable. He said he will block entry from nations that refuse to cooperate. He said he will not apologize for putting America first. You could feel the electricity in the room. You could feel the divide forming instantly, supporters cheering, critics losing their minds, and America once again pulled into a political storm that will not settle anytime soon. Now let's talk about what comes next. Because this is not the end. This is the beginning of a massive national shift. Trump's announcement will lead to a chain reaction across politics, economics, foreign relations, and law enforcement. Airports could see stricter screenings. Visa approvals could plummet. Refugee numbers could drop to historic lows. Border patrol operations could expand dramatically. And American embassies worldwide will face a storm of diplomatic pressure. This is the most aggressive immigration stance in modern U.S. history. And whether people agree or not, it is going to reshape America. But here's the part the media won't tell you. A growing number of Americans support stricter controls. They are tired of feeling unheard. Tired of watching tragedies unfold. Tired of politicians acting only after someone dies. And this announcement, even if criticized globally, makes many feel that, for once, their fears are being addressed. This is why Trump's base is fired up like never before. They see this as leadership, as courage, as a president willing to take hits from the media to protect the country. They see this as a fight for the soul of America, and they are ready to back him with unwavering force. But the opposition will not stay quiet. The coming weeks will be filled with heated debates, legal challenges, emergency meetings, emotional testimonies, and global reactions. Activist groups will launch campaigns. Politicians will clash on live TV. Immigration lawyers will prepare for the biggest fight of their careers. And the world will watch as America enters a new chapter, one defined by strength, conflict, and national survival. As this drama unfolds, one thing is clear. America is no longer pretending that the immigration system works. Whether you agree with Trump or not, the truth is that his announcement forced the entire nation to confront one question. What kind of country does America want to be moving forward? A nation with open borders? A nation with strict borders? A nation that welcomes the world? A nation that fiercely protects its own first? This question will dominate every election, every discussion, every debate for years to come. And the shooting of those National Guard members will not be forgotten. It will be the event referenced in every argument, every political ad, every conversation about immigration and national security. The country is now facing a defining moment. And Trump, whether you see him as a hero or a villain, has once again placed himself at the center of a political earthquake that will shape the future of America. This script captures the anger, the tension, the conflict, and the historic shift happening right now. Because America is not just debating policy, it is debating identity. And the world is watching as the nation stands at the crossroads of safety, freedom, fear, rights, and responsibility. And as this controversy grows louder, more intense, more explosive, one thing is certain. This story is far from over. In fact, it is only just beginning.